Yeah. Gyokeres to Arsenal, done, signed, sealed, delivered. Gooners, it's good times. Gooners, it's wonderful times. We got our number 9, or is it 14? Is it? I'm not sure right now, but I'm pretty sure it's 14. And Gyokeres to Arsenal was signed, sealed, delivered. It's great news. Wonderful. Finally done. We've got our striker, our star man up front is done. Signed, sealed, delivered. But before we jump straight onto it, Akpos, thank you for joining me, man. How you feeling right now, man?
I'm feeling good, brother. I'm gassed. I'm excited. Almost every Arsenal fans out there who are excited. That finally we've got our man on the door, and according to the reports coming out today, Viktor Gyökeres is going to be formalizing with the medical to complete the move come tomorrow Saturday. So we're all excited to have the big man in the door, and according to the reports, also is going to take the iconic number 14 JC. So let's go. The number 14 JC that just rightfully behind you, Steve. So we are all excited for what's to come. We are also, relaxed that finally an area that has plagued us, an area where we've been starved for the last couple of years, has finally been sorted by the new sporting director, the ownership, the board, the manager also. So I'm excited for what's to come in the new season. And big up to everybody who's on the chat. Tamina, I saw your message also on my stream yesterday. So shout out to you. Big up Brenny. And I'm good to be on the channel yet again.
Big up everyone in the chat. Big up Akpos. And you know what? Berta at his best. Now, you started off perfectly because this is one thing I wanted to touch on. Andrea Berta has been really sitting there, weaving and waving his magic wand, trying to find us the right guy. And it just seems that this deal dragged on for a long time. But it looks like that Gyokeres was the guy that we were after from the get-go. And it was about getting that deal done in the best way possible for Arsenal. Now, jumping into it, and we look at exactly what Arsenal are set to be paying. And look, it's not massive. It's not huge. And I'm going to put it right here. The agreed fee was 63.5 million euro with 10 million in add-ons. Euros, that is. Now, what I'm seeing is Sporting wanted 70 million plus add-ons. Now we've come in at 63.5 with 10 million in add-ons, 8 to 10 million in add-ons. Akpos, what are you thinking about this deal? When we look at it, it comes up to a total of about 73 million euro, 73.5 million euro. What are you thinking? Is it a fair shout? 27-year-old informed striker. What are you thinking?
I think this deal has been bread and butter for a club like Arsenal that do not want to overspend when it comes to getting the right player in the door. And why that was, like you rightly said, one of the reasons why I was bigging up Andrea Beta with how he has played his card so far in getting us the number 9 that we think this club need, because he has gotten a player who's played in their prime, a player who has got the most number of goals in the last 2 years, if I'm very correct, in Europe. Because if you look at the numbers that Viktor Gyökeres has put out in the last 2 years, I don't think any number 9 has done that good, in my opinion, with what I've seen. So for me, I think Andre Beta has been putting out a masterclass with how he's getting this job done. Because coming into this window, we've seen what has happened in the last couple of windows, and a lot of us were not really optimistic that Arsenal Football Club would get it done. But we as a fan base, we also realized that this window was going to be a make or break for this football club if we want to, turn things around. Because it seems like in the last couple of seasons, we have been suffering from a serious case of seconditis, and we can't continue to do things the same way and expect change. There needs to be a different. The club needs to tow a different route, tow a different trajectory. And Andre Beta seems to be moving in that direction right now. He has come in and looked like, okay, I'm not going to overpay, but I'm going to get the best man in. I'm going to get a quality player in. I'm going to get somebody who is in their prime, somebody who is proven, somebody who is going to be coming with a big CV. Because we all saw the video of how Miles Lewis Kelly was gassed when the news broke out in the media that, look, this guy is coming. We saw how a player who is also a fan of this football club was excited, was happy that we are going to be bringing in a finisher in front of goal, a fox in the box, a player who is good. Like I said it on another stream the other day, that this guy is coming at the prime age of 27. Is coming off the back of being the talisman for a football club, to spearhead winning 2 league titles. And I said this guy is coming with bags of experience, and I expect Viktor Gyökeres to be one of the leaders in the dressing room next season. And somebody was raising the eyebrow, and the feeling and the vibe that MLS gave, I think it tells it all. It explains that kind of opinion from me, because this is a big player coming in. This is a player coming in with, okay, I think when he steps into that dressing room, the younger players in this squad, we look up to him for guidance. We look up for him to, a player that can step up in the big movement. So for me, big up to Arteta, big up to everybody working behind the scene to make this deal a success, to make sure that we get Viktor Gyökeres in the door, because in my opinion, they have done a fantastic job. They have done a massive job to get this player in, who I think is one of the best strikers out there right now in the club, for a fee that I think is a steal for Arsenal. Look at how much Liverpool has got Hugo Ekitike, in my opinion. Look at how much they are getting Viktor Gyökeres, strike partner at the national team in Sweden. Liverpool is also willing to go over, £120 million potentially for Alexander Isak. So when you see the kind of money that these clubs are spending for strikers, other strikers, that tells you that Arsenal has got to bargain to sign Viktor Gyökeres for just about 60 plus million euros and 10 millions in add-on. So for me, I think Arteta has put out a masterclass there, but I also want to give credit to the player side of for this deal too, because the player has been willing to come to this football club. The player has been making sure that he moves every mountain to join the Arsenal, even willing to forgo some financial obligation from Sporting to make sure that this move go through. Also, his agent, also, I big them up, because I feel like I've seen it happen time over time where some agents are willing to put their client's career on the line just to make the extra buck, just to make more money. But this is a representative that are willing to, let their client get their will, their wish, get that dream move, go to the club that they feel, in terms of footballing reasons, would be the best destination for their clients, and not to put the money first as the priority for them. So big up to his agent. For me, I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think it should also be like an example for other players to be with agents who would put their interests first and not making money in quotes as the primary goal for every deal. So big up to his agent, big up to Viktor Gyökeres and his team, and how they've handled this transfer situation, and also big up to the guys at Arsenal with what they're doing with respect to making sure that we get Viktor Gyökeres in an Arsenal JC as soon as possible.
There was a lot of pieces to this puzzle, Andre Berta being part of them, like you said. And now we have, of course, Gyokeres sacrificing wages. You have, just like you've said, clearly that even his agent has put Gyokeres' interests ahead of his own. A lot of things had to play out for this player to come to Arsenal. That's a big shout. Future players are going to be looking at this, just like you've said, that if they want Arsenal, they're going to show that they want Arsenal. And it's not just tit for tat, dollars and cents. Yes, dollars and cents are part of it, but it's not all. And it's not the be all and end all. Now, the way I see this movement by Arsenal for Gyokeres, it's in their best interests when it comes to, yes, he's the best possible striker available to us at the moment. Alexander Isak, I understand, was the chit-chat and this and that to Liverpool and yada, yada, but a player that is well and truly out of our grasp and would not come to Arsenal over when he has an option for Liverpool. Gyokeres clearly stated he wanted Arsenal. Gyokeres clearly stated that he would push only for Arsenal, and that is a statement in itself. The player himself pushing this hard to come to Arsenal is a breath of fresh air. It shows that he wants this team. And of course, Miles Skelly being excited about Gyokeres coming in is because he's part of the team already. The way he's carried himself within this transfer, the way he's pushed for Arsenal, I think when it comes to his teammates, he's already part of the squad because he's shown his desire and passion to come to Arsenal be part of this project. And just like Brenny has said here, he said that, Gyökeres should be in his peak years. That would be massive for us. Yes, he is. In 27 years old, he is in his peak years. It is a 5-year contract, guys. So it'll well and truly take him into his 30s. And of course, no, he's not going to be the be-all and end-all and only striker that we sign. But currently, he is in form, and he's a player that we can hold onto and can become squad depth in the later years of his career. Now, Viktor Gyökeres, when we look at him and what he brings to a team, you look at his highlights, you look at his style of play, he is a fox in the box. But don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted. This is a player who can score from his left and right-hand side. Right foot, left foot, he's good for goal. He can cut in from the left and score goals, which I've seen. He can also sit centrally and be a fox in the box. Now, this gives Arsenal so many options when it comes to Gyokeres here and where he can play. How many times have you seen Gyokeres cut in from the left? A fair few times. I've seen him come a fair few times, take on one player, two players, and cut straight into the box. Reminiscent of Alexis Sanchez when he played on the left wing. This is a striker who can cut in from the right-hand side. Being two-footed left and right. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, he scores more from his right, but he scores plenty of goals from his left. Breathtaking goals from his left. The guy is a talisman. He's going to lead from the front. Now, Arsenal now in the front line have got depth. Kai Havertz is now there. Yes, Jesus is injured. And we have now Viktor Gyökeres starting. Where is he going to play? Our starting number 9. But that does not necessarily mean he cannot play from the left, Akpos. So when you look at Gyökeres, and I've watched him, cutting in on that left. I didn't say it in the last video, but I'll say it now. He reminds me of Sanchez, the way he cuts in from that left. Because Sanchez wouldn't go to the wing and put a cross in. Sanchez was always a player who wants to cut into the box, push off to his right foot, and take a crack. The thing about Gyökeres is, left foot, right foot, he's dangerous. This gives us a different possible dynamic to our squad. I know we've got Kai Havertz on the bench now for Gyökeres, but that doesn't necessarily mean Gyökeres can't play on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
As an inverted winger, if he had to. I mean, at the end of the day, if you need tall timber inside the box in Kai Havertz, Akpos, correct me if I'm wrong, you're struggling for a goal. We don't get another winger. Let's say we do not get another winger. We get Eze. He's a 10. He's not the best off the wing. We decide Gyokeres to the left, Havertz down the middle. That would be an effective front line, in my opinion. I think that would get us goals all day. The formation changes for Arsenal now with Gyokeres. The amount of different positions and the amount of different ways we can shape up is phenomenal. Squad depth is key to winning the league. Now, with Gyokeres coming to Arsenal, I believe that it's going to give us that extra oomph. We're no longer one-dimensional, Akpos. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We can say we're two-dimensional. We've got the number 9 covered. We've got the right wing covered. Madueke plays the right-hand side too. We've got depth. One more piece of the puzzle is the left, and that could even mean Gyokeres. What's your opinion? To see Gyokeres come in from the left-hand side, I mean, what do you make of Gyokeres? Left foot, right foot. How do you see him at Arsenal?
Well, for me, I think Mikel Arteta has already given us a glimpse of what to expect in the season, where it was, addressing what they're trying to do in terms of the squad building in the summer, and what to expect from next season, because the kind of players we are bringing in now are players that gives us option, players that gives us the ability to set up in different kind of systems going into next season. Just also coupled with the fact, with respect, keeping an eye on how the opposition wants to play. I think we will see a different variation of different kind of system. We might potentially see Viktor Gyökeres starting with another striker, maybe a Gabriel Jesus, maybe a Kai Havertz in some games. We can also see the traditional 4-3-3 system that we've seen most of the time under Mikel Arteta, for especially last season. We can see Viktor Gyökeres in the middle, maybe an Eze on the left, maybe a Rodrigo on the left, maybe a Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, or maybe a Noni Madueke also on the left, Saka on the right. So I think with the kind of players we are bringing in, these guys have the ability to play in multiple positions. Now we're talking about Viktor Gyökeres also potentially, playing on the right. He can also play in, with another striker in a 4-4-2 system, and also play as the lone man in a 4-5-1 also system. So I think we would keep opposition guessing a lot of times on what to expect. I think in some games we might also potentially see Kai Havertz starting up top, maybe as the lone man, with Gyokeres on the bench, resting in some games with respect to the load that he has carried on in the last couple of games. I think so. Bringing in this kind of players gives us that versatility. And like you rightly said, we are switching from a team that is very one-dimensional, a team where before game day, you know what to expect. You know how Arsenal are going to approach it. Oppositions come with one tactic, which is to prevent us from playing, sit in a low block, and try to hit us in a counter-attack. And we have, on the days when our set pieces does not work, we have no other tool in our arsenal to try to break them down. So this is more reason why many of us are also saying the work is not done yet. We have done a large chunk of the work, but we still need to go out there bringing an Eberishi Eze that could potentially unlock playing tight spaces, unlock teams when they're trying to sit deep, bring in a Rodrigo Guez, who is also a very good 1v1 kind of winger, a player who once he's left with a defender on a one-on-one situation can come out on top maybe 8 to 9 out of 10 times. So I think the work, we have done a large chunk of the work right now that gives us that option to play in different system, also have different personnel with respect to the system on the pitch. So I think Arsenal is switching from a team that had just a top 11, because I think last season we had just a good first 11 and practically next to nothing on the bench when injury hits. So I think we are moving gradually from a team that had just 1-11 that was good, a first 11 that was good, to a team that could potentially have 2 11s that would be strong, that if we put out maybe the second 11 on a good day, could get into that game and get you all 3 points and get you, win in a knockout football situation to qualify for the next round. Because when we look at the players, we have almost 2 very good players now in every position. It could potentially be Viktor Gyökeres, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz fighting for the number 9 position. That's 3 players fighting for the number 9 position. Whereas we realized last season with the injury of Gabriel Jesus, it was just Kai Havertz, and we were forced to bring in Mikel Merino up top. So I think now we are moving from that club that was just having a strong 11 to now a team that could potentially have 2 sets of 11 that could compete for the duration of a season. So I think we are moving to that club that we want to be, the club that we want to see. But I don't think that the work is done yet. I still think we need at least a minimum of 2 more signings to come in a left winger and an attacking midfielder, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 2K. Smash the likes. We need them likes. We got to get it going. We got to get it happening. I usually say it at the start of the vid, but I'm too excited. I'm jumping for joy. I completely forgot. But hit the likes and hit the subscribe. Brandy is in the building. He says, if we get Eze, Rodrigo, I'll be happy with the attack. You know what? I'm with you. If we can get those 2 players, our attack is set. He goes, would get Isak would make a massive statement. Then Martinelli, Vieira, Nelson to go. One can dream about Isak. Look, a dream it would be. Alexander Isak has made it clear to Newcastle that he is looking at options to move. And let's be honest, if it's going to be a choice between Arsenal and Liverpool right now, it's highly likely he'll choose Liverpool. Alexander Isak, a great striker, a proven striker, 130 million pound striker, which I don't see Arsenal moving on. I'd be very happy myself if, yes, a Rodrigo was to come in with an Eze, including a Gyokeres, with Zubimendi now, and a Madueke. I wouldn't ask for anything more. And Mosquera, I wouldn't ask for anything more than that. I think that would be a 9 out of 10 transfer window for all those to come in. Do I see it happening? No, I don't see Rodrigo and Eze coming in at the same time. But you know what? I'd love to be proven wrong, Brenny. I'd love it. Really would appreciate Arsenal to prove me wrong right now. Now, look, Arsenal at the moment, Gyokeres is up front. Now, Gyokeres has come in, and yes, he is going to be the number 14. We went from Henri to Eddie Nketiah as 14. And now Viktor Gyökeres has said, I'm taking that 14. I'm going to wear that proudly. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Do you think he's going to do it justice? Is it a lot? Is there a lot of pressure on someone's back when they're wearing that 14? Or is it easy breezy for Gyökeres to wear that 14 proud for Arsenal?
We all know that the number 14 shirt definitely comes with a lot of pressure. Personally, I was against giving it to Eddie Nketiah because I felt like this is a young player that I did not want to put that kind of pressure on. But Eddie, at one point, looked like it was up for the challenge. It looked like I can cope with the pressure because that's one of the things that I thought that I liked about Eddie Nketiah because he carried himself like a player who had, this big player mentality, who was not going to sulk. I think we all saw the clip when he was talking to, I think it was Sambi Lukonga or someone else during the All or Nothing, where was asking him that, are you going to sulk that you're not playing or something? I think the way it sounded pretty much like a guy who was tough mentally. So I thought Eddie was ready to, face the challenges with respect to the number 14 jersey. But that jersey definitely is going to come with expectation. It's going to come with pressure. But I look at Viktor Gyökeres now, and it gives me the vibe of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang when he joined from Borussia Dortmund, because that was a player. Yeah, that was a player coming in his prime, coming in after winning. I think he won the highest goal scorer the season before. But if I don't know if I'm correct with that, but I remember that he scored a lot of goals in that Borussia Dortmund team. So I look at it and I try to mirror the move we are getting now from Viktor Gyökeres, another player who is going to be coming off the back of a fantastic season with Sporting, pretty much the same age as Uba when he came in, coming in is in also in his prime, coming in as an experienced and proven striker, coming in as a player who could potentially be one of the leaders in this team. And in my opinion, I feel like this is the kind of player you give that kind of jersey to, the kind of player you give that kind of pressure to, because Viktor Gyökeres looks like a player who wants to, he wants to face the pressure. It wants to step in the big shoes. It wants to make things happen for this Arsenal team. And for me personally, I would, be expecting more from him because as we rightly know how people say it, to whom much is given, much is equally expected. For us to, pay this big signing fee for him and also giving him the number 14 shirt definitely knows that the fans will be requiring certain level of consistency from him, certain level of professionalism also from him. So I think we have a big player in our hands, and it looks at this very early stage like a player who's ready for the challenge and a player who is ready to face that pressure the big number 14 shirt comes with Arsenal. But I would not want to, put the kind of Thierry Henry pressure on him. That is actually good level at Arsenal. But I think he's a player who has an opportunity to come and write his name in gold, come and carve his own name, come and, make Arsenal. I think Arsenal fans already love him. Arsenal fans already love him even before kicking a football for the club, with how he has shown that he wants to be part of this family. He wants to be part of this football club. So but I think when he comes in eventually, he has an opportunity to take that love from this level to an even upper tier, in my opinion. So it looks like a guy who wants to face the challenges with the number 14 shirt, and I hope he's going to be very successful in the Arsenal kit eventually.
It's honestly a statement from a striker who is in form coming to Arsenal. And I mean, his teammates obviously excited. And I think his teammates now thinking about Arsenal, looking at us making moves. So the signing of Gyokeres, he's wearing the 14 classic number and he wanted it. He had to have it. It's been given to him. His teammates are looking and saying, big move. They look at his statistics, they say, big goal scorer. They look at how much we pay for him and how much we push for him. Arsenal are making moves in the right direction. I think the locker room right now is breathing a sigh of relief that Arsenal are making moves in the right direction, understanding that our problem, or our whole problem, was a striker, a left winger, and Arsenal are trying to make those moves. I think as an Arsenal player now, it'd be refreshing, a refreshing feeling to see the club that you love, that you're playing for, that you're getting paid to play for, making the moves in the right direction and giving these players and this team the tools to be effective, in the next campaign. And a player who comes in like Gyokeres, who's ready to rumble, says, "I'll take that 14. I'll put it on my back because I believe I can do it justice." That's massive. And you know what? I think you will. I think he'll be one of those players that wears the 14 and bags 15 to 20 goals in the Premier League. And at 27 years old, Manny has said it. Thank you for joining me, Manny. He said, Gyokeres is a classic late bloomer who's now shining brightly. I don't care if no other club was interested in him. I hope he'll hit the ground running. Easily our best purchase to the window. And I agree. I strongly agree that he is the best purchase thus far. There is still room for a few more purchases. The only purchase that would be bigger than Gyokeres or as big would be Rodrigo. Eze would be a good purchase. But if Rodrigo comes in, I think the two of them would cancel each other out because both of them would be a massive statement from Arsenal saying that we are moving in the right direction. Liverpool, you're doing your thing, we're doing ours, if you know what I mean. Manny also said a few other. Manny's also come in earlier and says, "I'm just glad the deal is finally done." To be honest, it's been done for a while. Me and Akvos reported it about 2 weeks ago that it's done. It's finished. It delayed, but it was finished. It was over. It wasn't gonna. Oh, it might not happen. Bollocks. It was gonna happen. But anyway, sadly, I fear that that'll be as good as it gets. Left back will be our Achilles heel this season. Mark my words. Well, it isn't the best position at the moment at the left back role. Miles Lewis-Skelly is doing it justice. And don't forget internationally where he's playing. So, yeah, it might be our Achilles heel. He isn't the best left back in the league. But we're not the perfect squad. No squad really is. I guess we're going to have to see. I don't know. What do you reckon, Akpos?
Manny's concerns are valid in my opinion. But I think I expect a better version of Miles Lewis-Skelly that we saw last season. I think the areas where we know that he had lapses were not really down to his quality. We're down to, his temperament at some point in the game, maybe reading the game, where not to throw in, diving into tackles. Yeah, so I think some of the exactly. Some of the tackles that he made last season were a little bit rash, but it's expected for a young player who's, that young blood, that young explosiveness, that young aggressiveness was there. So I think going into next season, we'll be seeing a player who will be more refined, a player who will be playing with a little bit of that more experience under his belt, because last season was the breakthrough season for him. Next season now is a player who has already been around the mix with the first team, a player who would, been in these situations before the previous season. So I think we'll be seeing a better version of MLS, in my opinion. And I hope that we'll also see a fit Ricardo Calafiori, because if Calafiori is also fit, then we have two players going head to head for the left back position, and may the best man win, because at the end of the day, the squad will be the winner of this kind of situation. So I'm not really worried much about the left back position, because like you rightly said, there are no perfect team whatsoever. Definitely teams will have one or two areas where they are not as strong as the other areas though, but it depends on how the team will be able to mitigate these weaknesses and utilize them best to their advantage. So I feel like our defense is not really a worry for me. With what we currently have, I will go into next season very solid. Defense has never been our issues, like we saw last season and the season before that. As our defense have been one of the best, if not the very best in the division. Our goalkeeper has won the Golden Glove 2 seasons in a row now. So that's I think that's also a statement with the kind of level of defenders he has in front of him. So I don't think the defense is the main key area for me going into next season. It's always been the attack. It's always been if we have enough firepower, if we have enough creativity in our midfield. So these are the areas that, I would want us to give more priority to, more focus to, in my opinion, bringing in more attackers and bringing in more attack-minded players also in the midfield. So that's where I would want to differ a little bit with the good point that Manny has dropped in the comments.
Look, it's a fair shout, Manny. It is. But it's straight to the point that, yes, we have got one of the best defense in the Premier League, bar none. Now, with Mosquera signing as well, I might have said that wrong, but it is what it is. He's wearing a big number 3 on the back. And again, Calafiori, of course, Miles Lewis-Skelly, of course. We still got Kivior in there. We've still got Timber in there. I know injured, but he's still there. We've got Ben White. We've got Saliba, and that's a player, Saliba, who's probably seeing us sign Gyökeres now, and maybe he's thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm going to stay right here. Maybe this is a good place to stay. And look, we saw Kepa.
It looked sharp
in that game against Milan, right?
He looked sharp.
He looked. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, he looked good. I mean, the penalties weren't a problem, right? This guy was like reading everything, and it's like, okay, cool, man. You're trying to make a point here. So we do have a decent backup goalkeeper that we got for virtually nothing, and now moving forward, we've got probably one of the best strikers available to us. DWTT in the building. Hello. Big up my guy. Look, at the moment, Arsenal have signed Viktor Gyökeres. Yes. Just to go back to it, guys, I'm going to throw the banner on there just to let anyone know who's watching now. Deal agreed, 63.5 million euro, 10 million in add-ons. It's done. It's dusted. Saturday is going to be medical time, like, share, and subscribe. And look, that's going to go through. The number 14's on his back. He is our new number 9. Arsenal are moving forward and moving like ballers. Hopefully, he'll be able to join the preseason tour ASAP, because to be perfectly honest, he needs to get in with the squad right now. I don't know, like, in my opinion, he has missed training. He didn't want to train with Sporting. He didn't want to do nothing with them. I think now, once he does his medical, he's out of London and he's off in the air. What do you reckon?
Yeah. I think that's what I've been saying from the different reports, that as soon as he's done with the medical, he's going to be flying with Andrea Beta to join the rest of the team over there in Singapore, in Asia. So I think that's been a fantastic decision. Get him in the team as soon as possible. Let him start to get back in full game sharpness, full game fitness, and be ready for when the season starts. Because one of the reasons that I've thought that this is also been a good one with how we've handled the deal is the fact that we got him even before preseason ends. So he could join in with the team, train with the team, get used to the new atmosphere, get used to the new family, the new environment, and try to start to build up some of these synergies, some of these a relationship even before the season starts.
And you know what? When the season does start, we got a really good game. We got a really good game for him to start off.
A good place to test Viktor Gyökeres out.
Exactly. Against one of the best No. Was one of the best teams in the Premier League. Yeah. Manchester United, it's not going to be good. It's so not going to be good, man. It's going to be horrible, actually, what Gyökeres is going to be up to with your defense. But Luca in the building, Gyökeres, our 14. That's right. Our new 14 is Viktor Gyökeres, man. What do you think? You like the signing, Luca? You up for it? You're against it? What would you have thought? What would you have rathered? Manny's back in with another comment saying, I'm still keeping a very close eye on David Raya, who made some disgusting errors in the second half of the season and caused a lot of problems, but needlessly walking with the competition, and he'll do better. Well, look, every goalkeeper, especially ball-playing goalkeeper, is going to have a mistake in him. Sure. That's the issue. When you have a shot stopper, all right, and all he has to do is shot stop, and all he has to do is save, block, save, whatever, bet, and just distribute David De Gea, and that's his key role, then he'll excel. But when you expect the goalkeeper to be able to control the ball, play as part of it, almost like another defender, you are going to see mistakes because naturally goalkeepers they're not naturally there to play on the ball and to be part of an outfield or defensive line. So you're going to see mistakes. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way the game has shaped up. And even Allison and even Edison and any ball playing goalkeeper will make mistakes. Ramsdale was one of them. But spade a spade. Golden Glove last year, Akpos, who was that?
David
End of
Raya.
the day. David Raya. Year before,
David Raya again.
you know, it keeps happening. It keeps happening. Like this guy has
It's
been
not
goalkeeper of this. You know what I mean? Golden Glove here.
Once is a mistake, twice is not.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly. But he's not fluking it. You can't fluke this 2 times. You can't, especially look at the goalkeepers he's up against. The best goalkeepers in the world, bar Donnarumma. So look, I'll allow David Raya to make a mistake here and there, especially for what he's been able to do for us since he was brought in by Mikel Arteta. And that was one of those ones that we were all like, why are we getting rid of Ramsdale? I think we all know now why we got rid of Ramsdale.
Yes, sir.
Because Raya was levels above him. Levels.
Yes, sir.
Luca's got a good question here. Is that going to Liverpool? Do you think we messed up? Look, I think Arsenal and Akpos, you come in on this, but I'm thinking the reason why Arsenal didn't knock on that door was because it was clear that Newcastle were not going to be accepting anything less than £130 million. And being that we've probably got £250 to £300 million to spend this window, give or take, and don't forget wages, that would be a massive chunk of what we have available to make signings. I mean, what do you reckon, Akpos?
For me, I would also, want to pinpoint this with Andre Bete coming in the door, because we've seen in previous transfer window, we've had a lot of talks with Arsenal and Alexander Isak. We've also had some shatters that, the big man there, Mikel Arteta wants this guy, he likes this guy, but also we have to be a very realistic fan base. We also have to be a very realistic club with respect to how much money we have at our disposal readily available for us to spend. Because since the Isak news broke out yesterday, I've been seeing some Arsenal fans who want to eat their cake and still have it, be talking out of both sides of their mouth, saying, yes, we should have gone for Isak. We should have, why we're not interested also in Isak after getting Viktor Gyökeres. And they forget to look at the financial implication that comes with this deal. It's not just the 120 or 120 million pound. This deal could potentially eat 250 million pound when you calculate the wages and all of it. Because with 300k weekly, that should be about 18 million pound yearly. And if he signs a 4 or 5 years deal, then how much is that? Also coupled with the agent fees and all that. So when you put all this money together, we could be talking about 250 million for one player. And we also forgetting, as a fan base, our squad is not on the same level that the Liverpool squad is currently at. Liverpool squad currently has a Mohamed Salah, and they could easily go out there and bring in just a Isak, and they don't have any other problem. But we are still forgetting we have the left wing to still sort out, where we have Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard, and we know, as fans who watch this team week in, week out, that these two players on that left wing is not enough to win you the league. You still have to bring in more creativity, more support for Martin Odegaard in the midfield. We know that Ethan Nwaneri is there. He's looking, the way he looked in that AC Milan game, he looks sharp. He looks like a player who wants to give Martin Odegaard a run for his money. But we know that in terms of quality, we are still lacking in the squad all round. So it will be a crazy bit of business if we go out there to spend potentially 250 million for just one signing that will prevent us from potentially going out there to get a left winger, and potentially also bringing in a player to come in the midfield, and also, depriving us from spending money in the next transfer. Because what Liverpool are doing now, they might not spend much in the next couple of transfer windows going forward, because they have spent a large chunk of money already now. So I think it's very logical for me as an Arsenal fan to accept that, look, we are not on the same level in terms of squad quality with Liverpool. They can afford to go out there and spend this crazy money for just one signing, but we still have a lot of work to do. Our work is not done yet. Now we have brought in a striker that would say, yes, who is on that top level, but we still need to go out there and bring in a winger. We still need to go out there and bring in a potential, attacking midfielder, and maybe bring in one more young defensive midfielder, who knows, or maybe one more defender, who knows, maybe a couple of signing also for the academy. So I try to look at all of this picture, and I want to be very realistic with myself. I want to tell myself the truth. We cannot afford Alexander Isak right now. It would be crazy for us to spend that kind of money when we have not sorted out the other areas that need attention, that are very urgent, and what could potentially stop us from spending money in the next couple of transfers, because Liverpool, they are in a good place right now. If they don't spend for the next transfer, I think their squad's depth will still be fantastic, will still be okay. So let's be realistic as a fan base, tell ourselves the truth. These guys have just won the league. They did a better one than us last season. We have to be wise. We have to be streetwise in the market. We have to make sure that we spread our resources evenly across every area that we need to get sorted out. That's what I think. So for me, Isak, good luck with Isak and Liverpool. We still need to sort out other areas. So I don't really care much about that business. For me, I think Liverpool are getting a top striker. They're getting a fantastic player. I would not discredit that, but that's Liverpool's business. My business right now is going out there to getting a left winger after closing a fantastic deal for Viktor Gyökeres, getting a left winger, and also bringing Eberechi Eze, who I think that's a player made for Arsenal, a player who has got the Arsenal, already got, some Arsenal education. He's an Arsenal boy, as we rightly know, he's a London boy. So for me, I think bringing in Eberechi Eze will be a top signing. If you can bring in Eze and go out there and get a Rodrigo Goes, in my opinion, I will be going into next season, in my opinion, very confident that we can, even with Liverpool getting Isak, that we can win the league.
I couldn't agree with you more. We can't be top heavy. We can't be one-dimensional Saka, one-dimensional Isak. And look, this is a very good comment. Now, look, I'll get to yours, but here's Manny's one, and me and Manny see alike on this one. No, Luca, he would have cost a lot of money, obviously, and his consistency to getting injured would have been a problem. Yes, he does get injured. Now, I know last season he played about 33 games. He had no problems. The season before that, me and Manny both know what happened with him. Yes, we dodged a bullet. Now, look, that's sort of the and Luca, understand one thing, that there's a gamble with Isak, that last season at Newcastle might have been his awesome season, his one-off season. This one coming up now, he could stumble. If he gets injured and he's out for a month or two, his value drops, and his value drops massively. Now, we have always had problems with injuries. We have players come to us, Thomas Partey, for an example, not injury prone, came to Arsenal, become injury prone.
Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, Theo Walcott, Aaron Ramsey, Jack Wilshere, Abu Dhabi, the list goes on and on and on. Hey, you want to add Jesus to the mix? By all means, add him to the mix.
So
We've had plenty of players.
Fantastic player, injuries.
Yeah, Robin van Persie. So these are players that constantly injured. We can't afford that if we want to win the league. We need to look at every aspect of a player when we go to purchase. Because remember, the best ability is availability. You can have the best player in the world, but if he's sitting on the bench or in the stands, it's a cool story. It's hopes and dreams FC, and I don't want to be that no more. You know what I mean? Lucas says people be saying Berta should have got Isak. Look, again, the problem with people is, Arsenal fans is, just like Akpos was saying, is that they're not realistic. FC 25 is a great game. But when it comes to the financial structure, the way it works in the background, the reason why we're not going to move for a player like that, no one wants to hear it, is finances. It is finances. We have to keep it clean. And that's the way it is. Unfortunately, we're not going to pay that kind of money for Isak, because it would expose us. We wouldn't be able to get a left wing. We would not be able to get a number 10. Just forget about that. Just forget about it. It would have been Madueke, Isak, and that would have been it, and maybe Zubi. And that would have been it. And then we would have been screaming, the left wing is no good. Oh, the midfield is weak. We don't have any creativity. So for us to have a serious season next season against a strong Liverpool, a strong Chelsea, a strong Manchester City, just like Akpos has said, we need to cover the weak areas. You know, Mikel Moreno came in as he's now squad depth for Declan Rice. Zubimendi has Norgard. The left wing, the left back position is MLS. It's Calafiori, right? In a centre back pairing, we've got Saliba, Kivior, we've got Gabriel, and we've got Mosquera. We've got Julian Timber, and we've got the Great White Knight. Goalkeepers, look at us now: Kepa and Raya. Right wing, Madueke, Saka. Midfield, Ethan Wanyeri, and maybe Eze. Number 9, you've got Jesus, you've got Kai Havertz, and now you've got Gyokeres. So one position, if we can get that one as well, if we get Eze and we get one more position, we are covered, guys. And we will have a squad that will be able to compete in multiple competitions seriously. If we're able to get Eze and Rodrigo in with the Gyokeres signing, just like Akpos has said, I will be going into next season realistically saying we could win the league. Realistically, I'll say it now. Rodrigo and Eze, regardless of what Liverpool do, Liverpool got a strong squad. I'm not saying, it's 100% we can win it, but it's not 100% that they're going to win it. Football is a funny thing. It's like getting in the ring. And I say it a million times. You get in the ring, you can do all the preparation you want. But if you're not ready to rumble, if you just slip one time, it's one lucky punch and you're out. 1 point, goal difference. Goal difference could cost you a league. So, look, I'm not worried about Isak to Liverpool. I'm happy Gyokeres to Arsenal because, to be perfectly honest, this is a man who, in the last 2 seasons, has scored numerous goals in the Champions League and his league, respectively. He's been a class striker worldwide. And yes, many a team may not be going for him, but I'm fine with that. Just like Manny said, we're both fine with that. Gyokeres to Arsenal now, wearing the 14, unlocks Martin Odegaard, in my opinion. See, Martin Odegaard, being our creative outlet, hasn't had a number 9 in front of him, a classic number 9 in front of him for quite a while. Now, see where I'm coming from. Just feel me on this one. With Zubimendi now in the back being able to unlock Odegaard, at least allowing Odegaard to stay a little bit further forward now and not having to receive the ball in the right wing-back role, allows Odegaard a little bit more freedom in the midfield. But now Odegaard doesn't have to continue to distribute to his left or right, which is Bukayo Saka, but we can actually start attacking more centrally with Gyokeres. Now, that might mean Gyokeres to Declan Rice, and I do believe the signing of Gyokeres opens up that midfield. It opens up the midfield for Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard to get on the scoring sheet or to get an assist, in my opinion. I think those 2 midfielders are going to benefit massively from Viktor Gyökeres. What are your thoughts on our midfield now with Gyokeres as our number 9?
Well, for me, I think there's been some kind of passes that Martin Odegaard and the other guys on the wings, the other guys on the midfield that have been given to some of those strikers that have been getting wasted. I think we could potentially get one of our players who would hit a lot of assists going into next season when we look at Viktor Gyökeres conversion rate, because a lot of times we see our wingers like Saka, sometimes Trossard, sometimes Martinelli get into dangerous positions. They bring in balls in from the flank and there is nobody there to connect on the pass. So now we have a fox in the box. Now we have a target man. Now we have a focal point in that attack. And I feel like a lot of assists, a lot of passes that have been wasted in the past, we potentially be getting converted now. So I think we could potentially get one player if our creative midfielders are, playing at their very best. If our wingers are playing at their very best, we could potentially get one player who could be in the run of the chief creator, the chief playmaker come next season. Because if Gyokeres is, converting most of those balls, we will get maybe a player or 2 who could easily hit double figures in assist, double figures, in chance creation. So I think it's an opportunity for our creative players, to win an individual award next season. It's an opportunity for our creative players to be getting mentioned among the best creators in the league and potentially the best creators in Europe come next season. So I think this is a player who's going to be a joy for Saka to play with. A player who's going to be a joy for Martin Odegaard to play with. A player who's going to potentially be a joy for Anabirishi Eze to play with. A joy for Ethan Nwaneri to play with. So because we've seen some chances being missed by Kai Havertz, being missed by Gabriel Jesus in the past. So I think like this guy is going to be coming in and is going to just supply me and I'll do the rest. So I think we would have a player who's going to have a good number of assists come next season, in my opinion, with the quality of the striker we are bringing in.
It's going to unlock them. It's going to definitely unlock our midfield when it comes to not just imposing themselves, but making themselves effective. Now, Martin Odegaard came under a lot of scrutiny last season, and look, rightfully so. But when you have no other option and you're picking up the ball from a defensive third, there's not much opportunity for a number 10 to do much, or number 8, if you want to call him that. I think Viktor Gyökeres, being the player that he is, he's quick to break. He's very quick to break, as quick as probably Martinelli when you see him move. He's also very good in the box. He can take on a player or two if he has to. He knows how to play with the ball. He knows how to pass the ball. He's aware. He knows his position. This is a player who knows how to play the beautiful game, football, and not as just an individual, but as part of a team. And that is key for Arsenal. If we're going to go anywhere, we can't have an individual coming to Arsenal. We need a player who's willing to play as a team, as a part of a team. And I think Viktor Gyökeres knows what that means, because he knows what he's signing up for at Arsenal. That this is not easy walk in the park, you're guaranteed your start. Not at Arsenal. No. You come here, you prove your point. And I think Gyokeres has a point to prove in North London. I think he has a point to prove with the 14 on his back. He doesn't just come here to prove a point, yeah, I'm going to play your way. No, he comes in and says, I'm going to play your way and I'm going to wear the number 14 on my back. That's massive. Massive statement from Viktor Gyökeres. Massive statement signing. Massive statement Sporting Lisbon, I don't want to come to you anymore. Massive statement, I'm not going anywhere but Arsenal. Massive statement, I'm happy to lose wages to go to Arsenal. Everything about Gyokeres has been a massive statement. All the way through this transfer, it's been hit after hit after hit with Gyokeres. He is very much determined to come to Arsenal. Now that just shows that he's on edge. He's on fire. He can't wait. He wears his 14. He comes in and goes, now watch this. And what now? And what now? And I hope he hits the ground running. And I hope that his teammates are going to be able to unlock him. And hopefully he's able to unlock them too. I think Viktor Gyökeres, he's going to have a career at Arsenal that many will be in awe of. I think he's going to be one of the signings of the season. And I do believe that 15 to 20 goals in the Premier League from Viktor Gyökeres is attainable with this Arsenal squad. Eze and Rodrigo become part of the mix. Viktor Gyökeres is walking in the park in the Premier League. He will have many an opportunity to score a goal in the Prem and in the Champions League. I think his move to Arsenal is not only good for Arsenal, but good for his career. This is the last big move that he'll make, and probably the biggest move he'll ever make. Arsenal Football Club is no joke. Arsenal Football Club, the pride of London, the biggest team in London, the most successful team in London. It's not small fry. More trophies than any team in London. Combined. Put them all together. Still got more trophies than all of them. So at the end of the day, he's not coming over to just any team. He's coming over to the best team in London, bar none, including all. Bring them all together. And they still can't come close. So let's see what next season brings, ladies and gentlemen. But Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal is done. Medical is on Saturday. Ornstein reports that it is over and done with. If you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't, please check my mate Akpos out. Akpos, where can they find you, my man?
Well, you can always find me here on the channel, but you can also find me on my football and pigeon. And I have another channel, the Football Talk Shop. And hopefully this season, before the season starts, we've been doing a lot of stream. And Steve will also be a frequent face on the channel, just like I'm on the Aussie Gunner. So let's go. I'm excited for what the new season has got in stock. You know, while you were talking, Steve, something just came to my head that we could potentially see a battle between two Swedish strikers at two top Premier League club come next season. So it's going to be an interesting one. Two Swedish teammates will be going head to head come next season. So let's see who is going to come out on top and who is going to be potentially, being the better scorer off from the both of them between Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyökeres come next season.
That's going to be a battle of the ages, right? Both of them playing for a Premier League title, and both of them fighting for their cap at Sweden. Who starts? Based on look, Sweden are laughing
together
right
actually
now.
do.
No, yeah, that's true. Side by side. Imagine that as a starting line. Shit. Guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. On the road to 2K, we're there. Well, we've hit 1.1K. Let's see if we can hit 2K. But look, much appreciated for you guys tuning in on the show. I haven't streamed in a while because there hasn't been news. Now, this is one thing about this channel, is I will not just stream Gyokeres, Rodrigo all the time when there's no real news. The Gyokeres deal was done, guys. I didn't keep going on it because it was done. I knew it was done. There's no point me coming back, hashing it over and saying, oh, guess what? We're talking Gyokeres. I don't want to waste your time. I only want to jump onto this channel and talk transfer news about something new and not just make something up. So please understand that it's not me going quiet. It's literally me not wanting to take the piss, right? I really don't want to fucking take you guys for a ride and just make up shit, just make up content. That's not what this channel is about. I'm here to literally try and bring up content that's there, that's new, that's news to you, that's news to me, that's something special, and not to keep regurgitating the same crap. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And from the Aussie Guna and everyone here in Australia and Akvos, it's Uru, guys. Uru.